All right. Hello, family. It is Wednesday, 3-ish. Um, I'm doing my actual weekly one now, not just the random response video that I did. Um, I don't have anything planned to talk about this time. Uh, Hoping to see videos from Doug and Dad, I think. I'd have to check when people posted, but we'll see. I know everyone's busy. Yeah, so nothing specific to talk about, but I'm continuing sort of the prop making stuff. So this is a part of a helmet. It's the back part. Um, Here are all the other parts. They're currently, I painted them and they were drying, and now I need to paint them again with the next kind of layer, cover, whatever you want to call it. So getting use out of the printer. Got some new drill bits and tools. Projects everywhere all the time. I mean, yeah, you can see this is more of the helmet. I've got the whole painting thing that we've not finished. I've got this whole cart that I've planned out, but I've not finished. I've got the helmet over there. I've got puzzle. I've got tires. Projects are everywhere, and I don't have enough time for them. There's some really old ones too around. I'm working from home today, taking a little break to do this. Yeah, I don't know. I need more time. I always need more time. Topics. I don't know. I just sent you guys some videos. I sent you the one that's like the smoking one, and then the one about getting more representative or more guys kind of working class people into politics. Saw some responses, but yeah, I liked the working class one. I didn't know, and maybe I'll look into this, programs and stuff to try to teach and lower the bar of entry, to teach people how to run for office or get into politics or learn that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool. I wish that was more present, more popular and easier. I do think that the bar to entry is very high, especially financially. But I one of the biggest points I agree with in that video is I forget the guy's name, but the guy who's been running in Omaha, basically saying it should not cost millions of dollars to run for office, actually run for office. I very much agree with that. I think it should be, it should be easy for somebody to try to run for office. Oh, you guys have been talking about birds. There's a tiny little bird here. It's not one that I've seen before, I don't think. I don't know where he went. Huh. I need to get a suet feeder. That's another thing that I've been meaning to do. Yeah, but I don't know. I'd really like it to be easier for people to get into that sort of thing. I know for me, especially, I'm not particularly. Well, I always say I'm not particularly politically minded, but I just, I don't have an education in it, I suppose, is really the thing, right? So it's really hard to know. It's I'm in tech, and I could talk about technical stuff, and no one, even if I tried to explain it, it'd still be hard for someone to understand because they're not in the field and they don't know sort of the background information they might need to know to properly follow along. I think that's true for politics as well, or any really kind of learned field. I mentioned last time I was thinking about education policy and things like that. I'd really be one of the things, if it were easier, lower barrier to entry, I'm thinking about things I could go back to school for or whatever. And one of them would be if I went back and got a master's, PhD, something like that, I could start teaching for some period of time, but then really the the goal would be to push that into moving into educational policy. So trying to, get some credibility either by being a teacher or by being a policymaker, but to get credibility teaching, and then and just get more involvement in the space, and then getting into policy making. So trying to create reform. I don't know. There's that always that not dichotomy. I don't know. The push and pull of I could do all these things to try to better situations, and maybe that would have effect, or I could put in all that work and see very little return or change from it, or I could try to follow a path that would be the most follow a path intended for my own personal happiness. So for example, if I were to say move out of country and look for a job that fills out some of my needs, and then fill the rest of my time with personal hobbies or interests, that might make me overall happier, and focusing on the bonds around oneself individually. Or do I give up some of those things to try to work towards some form of societal change that I wish were true for myself, so that it can be true for others. For a large portion of my current life, the time I've been alive, the need to do good and make a difference was a big driving factor. And I think it was, while it's a good driving factor, I think maybe I let it be too much of a driving factor in some areas. I didn't really think about myself enough, which sounds backwards, but I think I went down a path thinking that I needed to do something that ultimately was not going to help me grow personally. So now I'm trying to think, what's the balance between those? What do I want to do? What is my direction and path going forward? And what am I striving for? What is my goal? And I don't know. I don't really want it to be in tech, I'll be honest, unless it's some form of tech that I can have a lot of agency over, which medical is not really that way. Unless it's a form of tech where I can have a lot of agency over the type of work I'm doing, what I'm working on, I'm not kind of meandering through other people's regulations and standards, that kind of thing. I'm not sure tech is it for me. But what it should be, I am not sure. So that's kind of what I'm trying to explore. I've also thought about the idea of if my profession was something that was a lot more physical but not mentally laborious, then I could spend my hobbies doing things that are non-physical and mentally, mentally engaging. But problem is typically, more physical labor type jobs don't pay very well. And so I would either need to spend a lot of time working, or I would need to hold multiple jobs. And that might, then I wouldn't have time to do those other things. So really trying to find a good balance between my different needs as a human and my different needs as a person, So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on all that. Let me know. I'm open to suggestions. But yeah, I've been, John applying to schools has made me reconsider whether or not I want to think about applying to schools overseas again. So I've been looking into that a little bit, but finding that direction, finding what it is I'm actually moving towards That's the most important part because I just don't have a clear direction right now. So, all right, I'm at 10 minutes, so I'm gonna stop here. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.